Okay, anyway. Did you see Iron Lung? Yes! Oh boy. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. You know what's really funny to me about that movie? Iron Lung. It was really, really good. Best indie movie I've seen by far. Like, beautifully shot, lovingly crafted, cosmic, high concept type of stuff. You know, and here's the thing, right? People go into it like I was worried about I'm sure I love Mark. I do to an extent that I shouldn't. Which I was worried was gonna get in the way of my enjoyment of the film. It did not. It was a little hard at first, you know, to separate Markiplier, the YouTuber, from Markiplier, the actor. For a little while, at the beginning, like, I had to adjust, but it did not take that long. He slips into his character so easily. There were, like, a couple points where the dialogue was a little forced. There were, like one or two scenes, not even scenes, maybe one or two shots where I was like, oh, that maybe could have used, like, a slightly different acting approach. But it was a minor of a minor complaint that went in and out. Boom, gone. The filming, the effects and the filming, like the camera angles and the set design, like, that shit was phenomenal. And that was almost entirely fucking not special, practical. And he blended the CGI effects with the practical in ways that I'm like, fuck you, Hollywood, because they are so excited about it's all green screen and CGI and AI, and then everything looks like garbage. When you blend that shit and it's done by people who actually care about the art, it's beautiful. I think that Iron Lung not only sets a higher standard for what we should expect from movies and especially from fuck-ass Hollywood, right? It also smashes so many of the bullshit fucking assumptions that people make about the creative audiences today. Hear me out on this one, right? We see shit on the news all the freaking time that's like, this generation, or people nowadays, their attention spans, and it's because of the internet, and it's because they're people these days. Right. But then a movie comes out that is very long, requires you to pay a lot of attention, and people fucking love it because, hey, it's because y'all aren't making good shit, and you're treating your audiences like fucking idiots. So, and that pisses me off. They want to blame it on short form content instead of on the fact that content quality in general has gone downhill. And there's some, yes, sure, with certain modern conveniences, there's certain neurological shortcuts, blah, 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 blah. The exact people that modern culture blames for having short-term attention spans, those are the people who have their asses sat for 2 hours on a Markiplier movie that has him in, like, one room, the entire movie. And listen, don't get me wrong, like, the movie, it's long, 2 hours long. It's definitely heady. And even if you paid absolute attention, you're not going, like, there's still a lot of questions. I was left with questions and confusion, which is a good thing, people. That kept me, I was still thinking about it. My brain was buzzing, which is a good thing, right? It's mainstream Hollywood has been babying the audience and then turning around and blaming the audience when art doesn't sell, when good shit doesn't sell. Good shit doesn't sell because they don't give it a chance, and then when they push something that has a high concept but they don't execute it well because they don't give a fuck about what they're making, then they say, oh, the problem is audiences. No, the problem is you, motherfucker. The problem is the industry. Markiplier just straight up smashed all that shit. Because what is his audience, right? Pretty multicultural, right? But mostly the Gen Zs. The short form generation, the low attention span generation, had their asses sat for a 2-hour movie that most of the critics couldn't even get through. That's what pisses me off, bro. You see, like, when you go online to, like, the classical, and we all know that shit's rigged. We all know that shit's bullshit anyway. But, like, the classical critics online, the audience score is way higher than like the classic Hollywood critics score. And guess what most of their complaints were? That's boring. That's too long. I didn't get it. And they want to say that we are the dumbasses. I think that it's the enshittification to blame. Because we are in such an age of like mass media consumption. We have gotten to the point where we are, as an audience, we expect more from our content. What that more means doesn't always mean good. It means holds our attention, frankly. We're no longer so starved for entertainment that we have the time to waste on something that is boring or something that isn't what we want. And in some levels, sure, there's laziness and there's shorter attention spans, and there are people who have problems with that. But I think that it's en masse. We have so much more freedom of choice, and we're realizing that we have been forced to settle. So instead, we're not engaging with a lot of this shit, and then they're mad about it and want to cry. No, the internet creative industry is going this way, and I hope that the mainstream one goes. And that's the power of an internet-focused creative movement, because we're decentralized, and it's mostly based on individuals. Like, sure, there's don't get me wrong, there's plenty of, but there's more spotlight on the individual creator. People get found out faster now, and people want to act like that's a bad thing. No, it's a good thing. So yeah, I hope you guys watch it, and I hope that you take, honestly, my brain was like exploding sitting in that seat looking up at Markiplier on the big screen. I remember like 2012, I saw my first video of his. He's the reason that I'm trying to be a content creator. He gave me my inspiration. So blame him if you want to blame anybody. So yeah, it's really good, and I hope it inspires everyone as much as it inspired me. Markiplier slept with the director's wife. I'm not surprised, unfortunately. Producer too, I heard. Producer's wife. It's ridiculous.